So welcome this afternoon to everyone joining us for today's session with Dorian Ellis of Dronedesk on free tools for drone operators. Dorian has been in the industry now for how long is it, Dorian?
Oh, since 2018, man and boy.
28, much the same sort of length of time as me then, so that's great, quite a while. And came in as a drone operator himself and realised that there was actually an awful lot more that he had to offer the industry from the software angle, actually. He's done a fantastic job on that, and we very much enjoy and appreciate his Dronedesk solutions and all the free tools that he has also set up for drone operators. This session will be taking a look at those tools today. So Dorian, I am going to hand over to you and turn my own camera off and microphone.
Okie doke, thank you, Elena. Appreciate it. Welcome all. Thanks for taking time out of your busy days to have a look at some of these free tools that we offer. So, as Elena said, I started my drone journey in 2018 as a drone service provider, and then kind of relatively quickly pivoted to start developing Dronedesk. So that was in early 2019. As part of the development of Dronedesk, I really focused on getting feedback from users to make sure the system does what people need it to do instead of what I think it needs to do. And I've been really lucky in terms of engagement from the drone community throughout the entire process, and that kind of goes on to this day, really. So in kind of appreciation of that support from the community, periodically throughout the development of Dronedesk, I've been releasing kind of tools that hopefully will prove useful to drone operators in some way or another. So some of these tools are kind of utilities, some are data info, some are experimental things that eventually will migrate into Dronedesk and become part of the app. Some are designed for people just coming into the industry, some for more established operators. So there's a variety of tools, all free, and hopefully some of them, if not all of them, will be useful to you in some way or another. If they're not, then fine. Let me know if you think of a new tool, and there's every chance I might develop it if it's going to be useful for the community. So that's enough of me talking. At the moment, I did a count up actually earlier in the week and discovered that we've got 17 free tools. So I'm going to have to canter through them fairly quickly. If you've got any questions, as Elena said, just please drop them in the Q&A and we'll answer them at the end. So hopefully I'll leave enough time for those. So I'm going to share my screen, stop talking about me, and move on, show you some of the tools. So you can access the tools from our website. If I zoom down to the bottom of the page, we've got a link that says community initiatives. If you click on that, then this is the page where you'll find all of those tools listed. So you'll see at the top of the page a bunch of stuff. So let me dive straight in. First one is a day rate calculator. I get lots of questions from operators new into the industry. How much should I charge for my drone services? Well, this allows you to do a very quick calculation that says, all right, I want to earn 50 grand a year. I'm bookable 5 days of the week, and I want to take 4 weeks off a year. How much do I need to charge on an hourly basis? There's your answer. Okay, so £34 an hour, £271 a day. That's a very broad stroke view of what you ought to be charging. It doesn't take account of tax and all that kind of stuff. So there's a more detailed calculator here where you can enter information about your equipment, your operational information, transport, accommodation costs. So all of your, if you're a solo operator, all of your personal finances, you can enter in here, and it will give you a more detailed view of what you should be charging. You can even say, all right, I live in Manchester. The average annual rainfall is 143 days in Manchester, so I probably won't be able to fly those days. So all done, tell me the answer, and we now know we need to charge £615 a day. So that's day rate day rate calculator. Next one is a instant site audit. So this will, once you've set up your website, if you're not using a website builder like Webflow or WordPress or something like that, then you probably need to think about, sorry, I can't multitask, I can't type and talk at the same time. You probably need to think about making sure that your website is SEO compliant, security compliant, and fast enough. So I built this tool, and it analyzes those three areas and gives you some information about what you might need to improve on the website in order to rank in Google, be secure from hackers, and be fast enough to encourage your visitors to stay on your site. So I've just put in example.com. It's come up with a score in those three categories. I can now get a full report. Let me just enter that. I should get the full report. So this will give you a very detailed breakdown of, it's free at the moment. So let's have a look. So speed, looks like we're all good. So we scored 100% across all areas. It performs about 50 odd tests on your website. So security results, looks like we've got some challenges here. So we give you lots of information about what you need to do and how you need to do it. And then search engine optimization will give you information about your keyword ranking and that kind of stuff. So there's stacks of information there. You could sit and study this for a week to improve your website. You can get it's got a shareable URL, so you can permanently access this report once you've run it. You can print it off and get a downloadable PDF as well. So that's the website audit. Next one is customer persona and value proposition generator. So this uses AI to generate customer personas. So what you'll be, if you consult a marketing expert, one of the first things they'll recommend to you is that you create some customer personas, i.e. who is your ideal customer, what do they look like, and what sort of things should you consider in terms of addressing their challenges and so on. So this allows you to generate a persona. So let's say we're doing drone roof inspections, and our target customer, well, we'll go as per the example there. Housing association manager. So I'm offering drone roof inspections. I want to target housing association managers. So this is now going to generate a customer persona. So a typical example of a housing association manager. It'll write a value proposition for me that I might want to use in a leaflet or an email to them. And it will also draft an outreach email for me. So once the clever little AI machine has done its thing, it's come up with a person called Andrew Sullivan, who's a housing association manager in Manchester, earns 45 grand a year. This is a bit of background. These are his typical goals and key challenges. And then we've got a value proposition that we can use. So for managers handling multiple properties, streamlined efficiency of drone inspections, and so on and so on, and an example outreach email. So if you want to contact those housing association managers, then this could form the basis of an email outreach. So that's customer persona and value proposition. Next one is ATC advisor. So if you're a user of Dronedesk, you'll know that within Dronedesk we've got a section on jobs that for the flyaway radius of your drone identifies any of the airspace users. So as part of that process, we've collected stacks of information and data. And one of the pieces of data we collect is contact information for ATCs, and we pull that in every month every 4 weeks from EAIP when new one's released, which was today actually. So we've made that available here. So rather than hunting through EAIP, you can type in an ATC name here and we'll give you the contact information. We've also tried to make this more of a community website as well, to enable people to leave reviews for ATC. So if you have a good experience or a bad experience with an ATC, then you have the opportunity to record that as a review in this system, and that will help inform future ATC contactees of the likely response they're going to get. So let's just, by way of example, say we want to go find Birmingham ATC. So here we go. We've got contact information. We've got a link there that'll take you straight to EAIP, so latest version. So you can see released today. So this is where the information is sourced from, but we represent it here. So you've got all the contact numbers, you've got email address, and so on, and a couple of reviews. So looks like Birmingham pretty welcome, although that's 2 and 3 years ago. And then we've got links to the nearest ATCs there as well. So that's ATC Advisor. Next one is please contact. So I do apologise. This does have adverts on it. This is the only page. It's a bit of a test actually, see if the adverts are worthwhile. But anyway, so again, in Dronedesk, if you're a user, you'll know that we provide emergency contact information for the location you've selected for the job. This allows you to, this represents that data specifically for police services, so or police forces for England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, as well as the Channel Islands and various other forces there as well. So we give you contact information for anywhere you might need. So this is pulled directly from the police API. We give you any contact information they provide publicly, including landline numbers, various other contact information. We give you information about the size of the force and their jurisdiction. So that's police contacts, which is a nice, easy one. Next one is FAA no-fly zone checkers. So this is aimed at the US market. It will, if you give it a location, tell you whether or not you're in a no-fly zone in the US. So by way of example, we've put in that what 3 words address, and we know that we're in an FR, effectively the equivalent of an FRZ in New York. Simple as that. Doesn't do anything beyond that. It just tells you that you're in a no-fly zone. What I should say about these websites is that you are required to create or provide your name and email address in order to access them. You do that once per browser, and we'll not ask you for the information again if you access any of these sites in the same browser. So just to mention that. Right, so that's US. We've got equivalent for the UK. So if I put this one in, you can check for an FRZ. And again, we found that we are in an FRZ, and it'll give you information. So EGRU 132A Gatwick. And you can use this as much as you like. You can put as many locations in as you want, as frequently as you like. So it's just a quick check. We'll also give you a translation of that location. So I entered the 3 words, but it's given me the lat long grid reference and postcode as well. So it's useful in that sense too. Right, so that's FRZ checks. CAP 722D. So a riveting document that contains all the abbreviations and acronyms that the CAA expect you to mention in your ops manual, potentially. That's published as a PDF, which isn't much use to anyone. So what I used to find myself doing was trying to recreate that PDF as a Word document, and searching PDFs isn't great. So what I've done here is transpose the contents of CAP 722D into a website so that you can search for pretty much anything you want. So you'll get start typing, it'll give you a translation or a definition. Let's go, I don't know, XX abbreviation en route. So on top of that, you've got all of the definitions listed here. You can export these to Word, so you can get an editable Word version of these abbreviations, which is really useful. So all you need to do is click on that and you'll get the Word document. Really useful if you want to copy and paste that then into an ops manual, for example. So that's 𝗙𝗵𝗂𝗃. Next one is, okay, so this is drone specification data sheets. So we pull, again, you'll know if you use Dronedesk, we pull in, we've got most drone manufacturers and models built into the system. So when you create a drone record, you just select the model, and we've got all the spec for that model built into the system. So what we've done here is use that same information. So we pull it from a DJI or the other websites, the other manufacturers' websites. So we recreate DJI spec sheets here. If I just scroll all the way to the bottom, because it's a long one, isn't it? All right. Okay, so what we've provided is a bit of value add at the bottom here. So if you're writing an OSC and for your 𝗙𝗵𝗂𝗃 Volume 2, you need a technical specification sheet. You can download that directly from here. So it follows the CAA's 𝗙𝗵𝗂𝗃 format. And fills in some of the information that you see above. So it gives you a really good starting point to create that technical document. You can also export it as a technical characteristics document as well, as required by 𝗙𝗵𝗂𝗃. So those two documents, really useful and really quick to generate using this website. Otherwise, it would take you a substantial amount of time to copy and paste stuff from the DJI website. We have a bunch of models, manufacturers and models available. So most DJI models and some of these other brands as well. So hopefully that's going to prove useful to you. So that's the drone spec. Next one is AAIB record-only UAS investigation analysis. So periodically, well, actually every 2 months, CAA released the AAIB record-only analysis of any drone incidents that have been reported by operators. It's just a plain website, not particularly user-friendly, and it's difficult to get a kind of helicopter view of what all of the reports mean in terms of volume and type of aircraft that were involved. So what we've done is every 2 months when that analysis comes out, we aggregate that, dump it in a database, and enable you to report on it from here. So we got 374 incidents since November 2019. You can filter by let's go to drone only. You can filter by manufacturer or model. You can filter to a particular date if you want to. But we give you incidents by year, which are reducing, which is great. A horrible looking chart there, that's probably not much use. Incidents by manufacturer, unsurprisingly, DJI top of the list, and 𝗵𝗏 300 as the most prone to incidents. You can search for particular incidents as well if you want to. So if you know, for example, an incident happened in Exeter, let's say Derby, see if there's anything there. Okay, so we've got a few in Derby. So 𝗵𝗏 30T, remote pilot was allocated higher priority search task. So you get all of the detail that you would see in the source report. You can also go directly to the source report if you need to. So that's AAIB analysis. Next one is just a news desk, right? So what we do daily is pull in news information from, I think it's around 23 or 24 websites. So that will include blogs, news sites, Google, and so on a daily basis. We review what's going on in the industry, and if there are any newsworthy articles, then we publish them to this page. So what you get is essentially articles. So we're just linking to the source. We don't publish articles directly. We're just linking to the source of information that we think is going to be useful to you. When you access this page, there'll be a pop-up that'll say subscribe. Oh, let me show you what that looks like, actually. So you can subscribe to this, and you'll get an emailed version of it on a Monday and a Wednesday morning. So if you want to subscribe, please do. Otherwise, you can just have a look at the website. So these will link directly to the source article, so that you can read the full thing. So as you can see, we've got over 16,000 articles now, which have been we've done over the last kind of 3 or 4 years now. So hopefully some of those are going to prove useful. If you're researching something, for example, BV loss, why not? Then there is a search, and you'll get all articles that match or include the words BV loss, or the acronym BV loss. So that's Drone News Desk. We've also got Drone Industry job listing. So we typically identify jobs from Indeed.co.uk and or on LinkedIn. And again, we'll push those to this website so that you can see those. And again, if you subscribe to the daily news thing, which isn't daily, but you'll get an email on a Friday morning, including all of the latest job listings. So there may or may not be something. You may or may not be in the market for a new job, but it's interesting to see what's available and what people are currently paying. Right, radar. So this essentially is a kind of Flight Radar 24 for drone operators. And what distinguishes it from, or sets it apart from Flight Radar 24 is it's very much aimed at drone operators. So there's some configuration options that we give you, so that you can specify your search ceiling, your search radius, the warning radius, which would be the amber or the yellow radius there, the warning radius, which would be the red radius there, and we allow you to set alerts. So what will happen is, if an aircraft is detected below 35,000 feet in this radius and is heading towards your radius of interest, then the website will make a sound an alarm to let you know there's something on its way towards you. If it's heading directly for you or within your alert radius, then you'll get an alarm that sounds. So you can specify the location with a lat long. You can correct the altitude using local pressure once you've got your local pressure measurement. So let me, obviously not much going on in Exeter at the moment. Let me move across. Let's go somewhere exciting. Towards Heathrow. Okay. So I'm going to go here. So you can see there's a Robinson helicopter on its way. Well, actually, it's just turned. But so once you click on the icon, we'll give you information about the aircraft, its heading, its altitude, and so on. So right, you may have heard that alert. This aircraft is heading directly towards our radius of interest, so that we know we might need to take some avoiding action. Depending on its altitude. Obviously, I've set the altitude to 35,000 feet, which is crazy. You'd probably only be interested below, I don't know, 5,000 feet or something, but you can modify that if you need to. click the burger item there, and you'll get lots of information about how it works and the configuration and so on, along with some information about if you can get alerts and that kind of stuff. So, as I said, this is experimental. It pulls in ADSB data and MLAT from a service called airplanes.live, which is yeah, so it's free data at the moment. So I don't buy this data commercially. So that, you know, there are caveats around the data. So be careful about using it operationally. There's no guarantees, but it gives you a good indication of what's in the sky around you. Okay, so that's flight radar. What else have we got? So oversight checks. So PDR-01 audits. Lots of people have asked us, what am I going to get audits on? What are the questions? What data do I need to keep? And in what format? So we just did this kind of website that really just asks you or allows you to check whether or not you've got the correct information in the right format. It just, based on emails that we've seen from the CAA about what they expect to see, then this will give you an indication of what and how you might need to prepare for an audit. So it's just a question of going through. Sorry, I'm just going to move that somewhere else, less distracting. So yeah, evidence of flight currency and that kind of stuff. So if you're expecting an audit or you're nervous about an audit and just want to double check what you're going to need to have, then just run through this and it'll give you an indication. Nothing more than that. So that's PDRA audit. What else we got? So DJI log file processor. So pretty inconsiderately, DJI encode their log files, which makes it impossible to read if you're a human. So what we've done here is, again, if you use Dronedesk, you'll know we've got an importer that allows you to pull in your DJI flight logs. So we've kind of made that available as an external tool here. So let's select a flight log, and what this will do is process the .txt encoded DJI log file and return a CSV log file, which is human readable. So let me just open that. And I'll share that screen so you can see what you get. Just bear with me. So it's taken that log file and returned a human readable log, and it's the full log. So you get the full set of columns that are available for every 1/10 of a second snapshot for that log file. The only thing you don't get included here, obviously, is any images that you've taken, but you get all the warnings and that kind of stuff. So that's the DJI log file processor. Then the next one is hot off the press. So any of you who are dipping into 𝗍𝗃, 𝗂𝗏 and BVLOS may well have come across a spreadsheet that somebody in Germany has developed, which allows you to calculate your contingency volume and ground risk buffer and so on based on your flight geography. So the plan is at some point we'll include that in Dronedesk, but what we've done here is create a kind of external version of that spreadsheet, or web-based version of that spreadsheet, so you can enter your aircraft specification, various other parameters, and this is an exact copy really of what's in the spreadsheet. So, but what's not transparent in the spreadsheet is the calculations. So what we've done here is allow you to enter the information, but then we've given you information about the calculations as well. So how these numbers are arrived at, because the spreadsheet is a bit of a black box in that you put the numbers in, you get an answer out, but it's not entirely clear all of the time how those numbers are arrived at. So this will give you the numbers along with the formula. So I mean, I won't go through all of the detail, but you can enter the parameters. We'll give you the relevant data out the other end, and then overlay those numbers on a image for you. So you could, if you wanted to, take a screenshot of that and include it in your OSC or whatever else you need to do. If you need to send an evidence pack to the CAA. Yeah, nothing much more to show on there, but just to re-emphasize, this is experimental. There's every chance there are mistakes in this, so if you do use it, give it a try. I've validated it against the spreadsheet and it gives the same answers, so which is fine, but that's not to say that the spreadsheet isn't wrong, right? So if you use it and you find it gives you anomalous results, then please let me know and we'll correct it. Right, that's that one. And then the final one is if you're a fan of Wordle, then we've got a drone version of Wordle for you. So if you're bored and fed up of Wordle, then you can do a drone themed version. So let's see how we get on. Oof. Let's try that. Oh, come on, 2. Right. So yeah, different word every day. Typically drone related-ish, loosely speaking words. So yeah, hopefully that'll be a bit of fun for you. So there we are. Believe it or not, that was 17 tools. Elena, I've been much quicker than I was expecting to be, which is great because it leaves lots of time for questions, right? I'm sure there are questions.
Indeed, that was fantastic, Dorian. I love all of those, and I love also that you have something a little bit more lighter-hearted as well to that's great, because sometimes everyone needs a little moment just to sort of pause, do something else, and then come back to it. To the original workflow side of things. Do you want to just stop sharing your screen at the moment? We can come back to us.
I will indeed.
Go. Now, questions side of things. Please, everyone, add your questions in here into the Q&A section, and we would be Dorian essentially would be delighted to answer them. This is definitely for me the sort of the high point of these webinars, because it really does demonstrate how much you've taken in as Dorian has been explaining things, and also gives us that sort of to and fro between everyone to create this community that we are really keen to ensure that it thrives. I have no questions at the moment. I don't know whether I have not set up the Q&A section correctly. I have it all set up, I'm pretty sure, correctly. So please do ask questions. Otherwise, we'll just assume that you love all of this and that you don't need anything else brought in otherwise as well. This is also a great chance to suggest other tools that you might like to see. I have to say that there's a huge variety there of tools that you've provided. I made a quick list as we were going through, and I think that's a fantastic selection for those first starting out, those who are already deep and into the thickets of being a drone operator. and dealing with a variety of different levels of organisations as well there. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. It's there also for not only operators, one-man band side of things, but also larger organisations that need to think about updating OSCs for bigger organisations too. So I think that's a fantastic selection. Right.
So we've got a couple of questions.
We do indeed. Okay, we have one here. I missed the beginning. You may be that you've already spoken about it. Do you have any advice for services to look up dynamic population density?
No.
Okay.
Dynamic population density suggests that you're alluding to non census data, so something a bit more dynamic than census data. There are some options available. Typically that would involve mobile data, so information from mobile providers about their clients and their movements and so on. I've explored that with a provider in the UK. It's a challenge. It's not cheap, and I think it would be out of the reach of a kind of operator if you were trying to do it as a kind of solo project. So it's difficult. At the moment, the acceptable means of compliance is census data, so that's readily available. So I would use that until at some point somebody says in the CA that that isn't an acceptable means of compliance. We can debate all day long whether or not that's sensible, but I'll leave that for another call.
Indeed. Thank you. That's great. Do you plan on doing a SORA check as well?
Maybe. It kind of depends. It's complex, isn't it? And depending on the how it ends up particularly in the UK, how complex it ends up, then it's likely to be a challenge to offer as a free tool, because obviously it would take a substantial amount of development to do something that would do a SORA check end to end. So it may happen, but it's likely to be within Dronedesk as opposed to a free tool outside of Dronedesk.
And I think I'm going to say this on behalf of everyone, actually, Adrian. Not a question, a statement. Brilliant. Thanks, Dorian. So please keep the questions coming through. I think there's some really useful ideas coming through, and if anyone has got anything else to add. A couple of years ago, we ran a webinar with Dorian looking at the software, and that is available on the ARPAS-UK website. I am sure since then, obviously, a lot of these tools have been developed, and possibly we may need to relook at this as well to have another look at the benefits of the software. But I do always remember thinking how straightforward and how practical the setup was, and how professional looking everyone comes across as a result as well. And obviously ARPAS-UK is all about encouraging the professionalism and the respect within business, within industry, but also between the service operators and clients at the end of the day too. At whatever stage of your business you are, whether you're first just setting out, important to create that professional persona, as well as further on down the road when you're more established and have that professionalism inbuilt already. Another question from somebody: can you just go into again how you figure out how to start charging clients when you start the business? Dorian did explain, as you said. I'm very sorry you missed the beginning of that, Josh. He does have a day rate calculator in there as well.
Yeah, and that's really just designed to give you a kind of starting point. So, if these are my outgoings, then this is the absolute minimum that I need to charge or earn in order to keep the lights on, as it were. The whole question about what to charge as a drone operator is a difficult one. it's all about the value you can provide in terms of the output, what a customer's willing to pay, what skills you have, what experience you have, and what quality are you able to produce. That all feeds into what you're able to charge. And then the question is, do you charge a day rate? Do you charge an hourly rate? Do you charge a project rate? It's a very nuanced subject and very much depends on what you're intending to provide as a service. And it will vary depending on what you're planning on providing. So happy to have a chat offline, Josh, but it is a detail thing and a challenging thing to get right.
Indeed. And we also have known, particularly in the early days of this industry, about sort of the race to the bottom. And I think it's very important that drone operators are charging fairly for their business, not only for their own business and to ensure that your own costs are covered, but also that you're not necessarily doing down others as well. We need to have the respect within the industry as well, the respect of each other too.
Yeah, good point, Elena. It's very tempting when you first start out just to charge silly low money, but you're just devaluing your service essentially, and entering the race to the bottom, which is no good for any of us.
Exactly. It's harder to come back from. It's harder to increase your costs after that if then somebody comes back and says, well, actually, you only charged us X previously. Why would I need to pay more now?
Yeah, I know that very well. So when I first released Dronedesk, I was labouring under the misapprehension that I might be able to provide it free of charge. So it was free to start with. But I very quickly realised that just was not sustainable. It was getting very expensive to run, and then starting to charge people after you've been giving it away free presented some challenges, shall we say?
I bet.
Most people, the vast majority of people were accepting and understood, that you have to make a living, but others, to this day, actually still feel it should have been free forever.
Well, it provides a fantastic service, and with all these additional tools, again, I mean, they're just a bonus. They're just brilliant, well done. But absolutely, everyone is entitled to have a fair compensation for the hard work they put in the first place.
Indeed.
Thank you very much. Are there any more questions coming through? I think we're okay at the moment. Dorian, what I will do, if I may, after this, is put together the various links and go from there so that everyone has the direct links to these various tools as well, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have another comment saying, Dorian, great as ever, thank you. Lots of messages of thanks, and that's fantastic. If there are no more questions, I will finish the webinar because it gives everyone a moment or two to ensure that you're all set for your afternoon of work as well. Thank you very much indeed, Dorian. As ever, you provide a fascinating insight into Dronedesk, everything that you do along the way, and all the different ways in which you're supporting the industry. It's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
My pleasure indeed. Okay. Thank you very much again, everyone, for attending. We will send out the recording in due course to everyone. And if you would like to join us for further webinars, do please check out the ARPAS-UK website for further details, as well as insights into various other industries and videos, a whole host of resources there, but obviously not the same sort of thing as Dorian provides with his. And if anyone here is not a member already and would like to talk about membership, please do email membership@arpas.uk, ARPAS.UK. Thanks very much then. Goodbye, everyone.